So back to the MECCA agreement. So Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan signed a joint defense agreement called the MECCA agreement. And it's like NATO in the sense that if one of them is attacked, then it's considered as if the others are attacked. The problem with this agreement is, and the Houthis called their bluff, is that none of them actually want to do any fighting. And so this is, I think this is going to be on paper. It is going to strengthen their alliance, which is bad in terms of, I don't see Saudi joining the Abraham Accords now. A lot of would have to change for that to happen. But fundamentally, I don't see this as a real threat yet. I think they want Egypt to join. If Egypt joined, Egypt said it doesn't want to join, which is very good. Because if Egypt joins, the main reason for Egypt to join would be to do a pincer attack on Israel. So like you bring in Egypt, you bring in Qatar, you bring in Syria. And so now Qatar is protected. And you have a pincer move on Israel from the north and the south. This is like, as long as you don't have people with direct contact with Israel involved, this is fine. And again, the Houthis attacked, and the Saudis were like, we don't know who did this attack. Who could have attacked the south of the country? And so, because they know this is not going to hold, this is not, it's as bad as NATO is right now. I don't see NATO actually deploying if Turkey is attacked. Similarly, I don't see Saudi Arabia helping Turkey if Turkey is attacked. I don't see Pakistan fighting with the regime in Iran if the regime suddenly decides to try to conquer Turkey. I don't see any of these parties joining wars on behalf of one another. I don't see Turkey going into war with India if that border flares up. So I think this is a statement trying to say to Trump, I have other options, and I don't think you actually do. So it's a bad, specifically because of Turkey, this is a bad, this is something to keep an eye on. But right now, I'm not considering it a threat. I do think that it puts the kibosh on Saudi-Israeli normalization. Similarly, so we mentioned Syria. We don't know what the country is, but it's Syria. So Israel, it has just been revealed under strict censorship, so we don't know the names of the countries, but a country that Israel has been in discussions with over the last several years, or not years, sorry, over the last while, to get either some sort of an agreement, either a peace agreement or a security agreement, has been told by another, it was said Arab country, so like otherwise the main suspect would be Turkey, but if it's Arab country, then probably Qatar. To sign a deal with Israel for the purpose of becoming stronger and then eventually waging war against Israel. And this is classic. This is what Israel is dealing with in the Middle East. Welcome to the Middle East.
We do have 1, 2. I don't know if you want to do a response or if it's too close.
Yeah, so I'll finish this point, and then we'll do a response, and then I'll talk about the remaining topics probably tomorrow. So I'll just finish the point. So it's definitely Syria. That's the only candidate that makes sense for the country that is going to make peace with Israel, but then use it to attack Israel. And it's either Qatar or Turkey who told him to do this. And so this is what Israel is dealing with. This is what Israel has to keep in mind whenever it makes deals in the region. These are temporary. Unless you also change the education system, then you're dealing with a temporary peace. This is true for Jordan. This is true for Egypt. Neither of them has changed their education system. We have a very cold peace with those countries, and Israelis mostly are not safe traveling to those countries. Even though technically, like, you can go to Sinai, you can go to Oman. I've heard of Israelis who did that, but it's fundamentally unsafe. So Freedom to Garma is asking if it could be Lebanon. No, No, it can't be Lebanon. I mean, technically it can be Lebanon, but it's not. It's not Lebanon. There's no way. Like it just doesn't make sense. This is brokered by the U.S. And Lebanon, the Lebanese people don't have a hunger for fighting with Israel. Even if someone told this to Lebanon, Lebanon fundamentally disagrees. If Lebanon wanted to fight Israel, like Lebanon wants to fight Hezbollah. Most Lebanese people hate Hezbollah, including some Shiites. Like a non-small majority of Shiites hate Hezbollah. So no, it's highly unlikely for it to be Lebanon.